I think it should. We want to tell the truth.
We don't need to talk about that.
We don't want to talk about the truth.
Mama.
I ain't got nothing.
Don't even talk
I ain't
about
got nothing. I'm going to go get it. Do you want to introduce it? I got to give me something to drink. Excuse me. It's on. Oh, you don't know it's on.
It's on. Hi. How y'all doing out there? So today we want to talk about Juneteenth. Juneteenth is coming up. Juneteenth is next week, I believe. Juneteenth. I know there's a couple of different celebrations going on here this weekend and then next week. And I think next weekend even there's some different celebrations happening.
Next weekend?
I think next weekend. So I think this week coming up. I know there's something going on the 19th. But then when's the Juneteenth? Is that this weekend that the Juneteenth celebration down?
Huh? I only know about the one that's on Juneteenth.
On the 19th?
Yeah.
No, there's another one. I think it's the following weekend. There's a because there's a whole parade and everything about it.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I know it's usually a parade. That's where I first
But that's a different celebration.
Right.
The one this year on the 19th is a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a new celebration. It hasn't. It's not the traditional one that's been happening in Portland. Yeah.
That's tight.
So, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Juneteenth, you guys. First of all, just kind of our disclaimer here. We're not professionals. We don't have the answer to everything. And this is a discussion. This is a discussion. This doesn't mean that we think that we're right and you're wrong. This is a discussion. This is how I feel about it. This is how you might feel about it, whatever. So please feel free to join in.
I don't like how you feel about it.
Okay, so please feel free to join in to the conversation, because that's how this whole thing works. Is we say some things, you say some things back. We try to respond to most of the things that come through while we're doing this discussion. So
that was good.
Anyway, thank you.
That was a very good introduction little thingy. The disclaimer.
Is this weekend, Shavante? Okay, so Shavante said that there's a celebration this weekend.
Shavante, no.
Okay. Okay. This weekend is the one that's over in Northeast Portland with the Miss Juneteenth and with the parade and the celebration and stuff like that. So yeah, okay. I knew there was one coming up. Okay, so Umoja.
Peace.
This is Umoja. I'm Bastet. Umoja.
What's up?
What's up with Juneteenth? What is it we're celebrating?
Well, we celebrating the oldest. According to what the word is from Texas, the oldest tradition. What is it? The oldest celebrated tradition of the ending of the enslavement of African people. That's what the celebration literally is. That's where it comes from. Like June 19th, shit happened. As far as I know.
In a nutshell, basically what happened is Lincoln did his Emancipation Proclamation, which ended slavery. Side note, it wasn't because he was against slavery. I just want to bring that out there. It's not because he wanted to end slavery. It's because he wanted to keep the Union together. So, it's really irritating to me how we celebrate him in schools because he's the one who ended slavery, except for he ended slavery, but it wasn't because he was against slavery. He had his own reasons that didn't have nothing to do with us. Again, that reminds me. That's something to remember. Throughout history, how these things happen for black people. I know, but this just can't talk about Juneteenth. Let me just say this real quick. Okay, that in history. That just kind of ding in my head. In history, when things happen, we get these things. We're like, oh my gosh, what a victory for us! What a victory! And we don't realize that shit is not for us. There's a whole other.
We talking about Juneteenth.
Can you let me just finish? I'm almost done. There's a whole nother reason that ain't got shit to do with black people as to why they're doing this. So I really like this, and we're gonna get into more about this later. See, you making me. I'm not gonna be able to talk. I'm just saying. We'll talk about it later. We'll get into it later. But I want you to remember that. I want you to remember what I just said. How throughout history things have happened, and we're like, yes, that's a victory for us.
About Juneteenth.
And let's go back to Juneteenth because
that's what we talk about.
Because I know, but I
know where you're trying to fit it in. I promise
and I didn't mean to.
Damn,
that's just
can
how
we talk about
happened.
Juneteenth? We supposed to be trying to talk about the
Juneteenth,
celebratory part of Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Damn.
So, for those of you out there and are already interacting and stuff, thank you. It's a little hot. What does Juneteenth mean to you? Just if some of you want to throw some comments out there, like what does it mean to you? I'm gonna be honest with you. Be real with y'all. I was raised by white people. Now most of you know that, okay? I don't think I knew what Juneteenth was until maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. That's how much the white community knows about Juneteenth.
And you how old? 27, 28?
You know. Pushing 30. I'm pushing 30. I'm pushing 30.
Shit. Oh, shit. Don't nobody want to say what Juneteenth mean to them, huh?
Okay.
It's interesting, but that is one of the like things, right? When you ask somebody what does Juneteenth mean to you, it's like,
it's just something we celebrate.
Yeah, but that's not the point either, though. But seriously though, if you didn't know, because some people probably literally legit don't know,
right?
They might watch this and literally be like, I wonder what they talking about on Juneteenth.
Mm-hmm.
But if you didn't know, Juneteenth is the oldest known celebration of the ending of slavery. Again, right? And which is interesting in itself because like Juneteenth is 2 years after the so-called ending of slavery supposed to be. But
why did it take so long, Umoja?
But
why do you think it took so long?
Because they still had rebel states that was like, fuck y'all. And your executive order. These niggers is gonna work until I'm good and ready. Until somebody come and tell us something different in our face, and that's what happened. As simple as that. But that being besides the point, it's like it's a cool thing to celebrate. It could be a cool thing to celebrate. There's nothing wrong with celebrating the end of such a brutal one of the most brutal act of human genocide.
This is what I want to say though. This is how I think that we need to be wording this though.
Go ahead.
It was the end of slavery as we knew it at the time.
Of course. Because
slavery is still alive and kicking right now. And I think with celebrations like this where we say things like, it was the end of slavery, it puts us in this mindset where we forget about the reality of things where, no, slavery still exists right now. It's just changed form. It's just put in a way that it looks like it's okay. And it's benefiting the United States. I'm not going to say us. It's benefiting the United States.
I think that Juneteenth, how does Juneteenth benefit the United States?
I didn't say the Juneteenth.
I know, but we talking about Juneteenth.
Oh, how does Juneteenth?
Stand on for real though. Stand on track.
I want to say this. I want to say this.
If at all, because if it does, I'm interested to know. Because I think it's more. I don't think any white people. I'm sure some white people will be all up in the business naturally. But what does Juneteenth mean to some non-black people?
To non-black people?
But that's not the question though. The question was, I'm sorry for giving you a double question, but the question was how does like America benefit from Juneteenth?
How does America benefit?
Because that's what you had to start cooking on, and I'm like, that's interesting.
My view of this is it's like it benefits because it keeps the black people happy. We've given them something. We've given them their day, and it will keep them happy. Let them have their day.
What if I'm one of them Captain American Negroes, and I say, but it's our day. It's black people made that. White people didn't do that. Black people did that.
What, Juneteenth? Mm-hmm. Did black people do it?
Because we have, well, I'm just playing it like the advocate of the opposite. Just because that's how like conversations really go. When you try to say something like that, the conversation, the conversation to, like I said,
I feel like 154 years ago, white people weren't celebrating Juneteenth, so it has to be. It has to be from black people.
My thing is, So this is my thing on it. Like, celebrate. For real. Celebrate. Celebrate your ass off, right? But how do we transfer that energy into other things? How do we transfer that energy? For real. Because when it's things like this, we come out. We come out in droves. We have, like, celebrations for weeks. You know what I mean? And then we wait for the next holiday, which will be American. And we still come out and celebrate, spend our money. That's when it definitely benefits America. You understand? Because we do it, fireworks.
Why don't we have fireworks for Juneteenth? Why don't they bring the fireworks stands out for Juneteenth? I'm speaking
about the energy that comes behind it and the organizing and everything. Why don't we look at our condition? Even since then, we ain't even got to talk about the last 400 years in this continent. We ain't got to talk about the millennia on the continent, the motherland continent. If we want to get real technical about it, we don't have to talk about that. Let's just talk about the last 154 years since Juneteenth and what's going on for black people since the end of so-called slavery.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about, right? Cool, celebrate that, dope. However, where our energy go after that? For real, where does our energy go? We like, man, it's like we I don't know, man. It's just really like, it's just hard to explain because it's a little sad in a way. Really, it is. It's just sad.
Okay.
Man, where our energy go?
I want to say this: we are not saying anything about don't celebrate Juneteenth. That is definitely not what we're saying.
Handle it.
We need to have our celebrations. We definitely need to have our things. But I think it's more talking about what are some other things that we need to focus our energy into. What are some things that we should be celebrating? What are some other things that we need to be focused on? Because
I have an idea.
What?
Seriously.
Okay.
I have a real serious idea.
All right.
How about, because I talk about the energy, where we put our energy to, and if we really think about it, like, how much energy do I put at playing a game, playing a damn Candy Crush for 5 minutes?
It's more than 5 minutes.
Literally, right? But I'm just saying, even if it's for 30 seconds, right? How much energy do I put into? How much do my time is into things that are not benefiting me or anything?
Right.
Just a wasting my time, which is my most valuable asset as a human being. Time. Shit, I can't get back. I can't get that. Anything else we can get back. Dirt, all that shit. Right? Everything else come back.
Right.
Can't get time. We gonna go.
Right.
Now, what if we put our time into really getting organized? What if we literally just put a little bit of time into really getting with an organization and not, even if it, like, I encourage people to just get into anything, right? Like, for real, just to do something. However, it's too many fucking somethings. And it's not none for black people. That's what we missing. It's fucking organization. And it's like we scared to. It's like we look around and be like, we can't do that. We can't do that. Shit. Why not?
Right.
Nothing stopping us.
Right.
We have all the education.
We
have all the knowledge we need
we have
to
all
build
the resources.
whatever.
It's the unity part that
it's the
that
unity because we have no fucking cultural infrastructure. It's none. All of the things that connect us is fucking bullshit. We have a ratchet culture, right? That we celebrate.
Yes.
World star.
Right.
Early and already and continuously. I'm just saying. But for real, what if we literally spend a little time in an organization? There's several of them that's going out, and really, we need people. We can't do this with little people, with little 5s and 6s, 10s and 20s, 50s and 100s. We need thousands of us really on accord. That's not religious based. It's not religious based.
It does have
can't
to
be
start
religious
with that,
based.
It can't be anything
But
based
we have
except
a lot
for
of
based
the little
on
ones.
blackness.
We have a lot of the little ones.
Yes,
we do. Even amongst the little ones that's really serious, there's no unity. Because we're so spread out and act like we can't.
Right.
It's crazy, man. And all of us say it, but ain't nobody trying to really do that shit.
Okay.
Excuse me, see? I went off. For real. Peace.
So one of the things that I was thinking about the other day, and I kind of thought maybe we can incorporate this into the discussion about Juneteenth. One of the things that kind of came up to me, in my head, just randomly the other day, was struggle. And how we as black people struggle. And it occurred to me that maybe, and this is not a for sure thing, this is just something that I was just thinking about. This is just something that I was just thinking about. Do we, as Black people, incorporate struggle into our cultural norm?
It's interesting. You know, after when you said that, when you initially said that, when you said that earlier, I was thinking, and I was like, interesting. And more I think about it, I don't think all of us, because there's enough of us to have a rebuttal who don't think like that. You know what I mean? It's enough of us who are all right. You know what I mean? And more, but I do know what you're saying, because even in passing, it is a part of our cultural norm. So when you actually say it like that, it actually brings it more into like, no, because I do think even the most well put and put together will still be like, yes, if you know, you a miracle and everything else, to the struggle, like that. So because I'm trying to like be like a devil's advocate to it, but then the more I think about it, it's like, no.
I guess I think about the things like even those who like, they seem to be well off, they seem to, have it together, somehow they end up making these choices that put them in a position where they have to struggle to keep what they have, or they have to struggle to I don't know. They put themselves in a position where it's like, in order to keep what I have to like really go through some shit right now.
Yes.
Or just making bad choices in general.
I understand.
And just making bad choices in general. Like, okay, I have $50 in my pocket right now. Am I going to save that to make sure that in case an emergency pops up, or in case we need to get milk, that am I going to keep that in my pocket, or am I going to go and I'm going to go out and have drinks with my girlfriend tonight, and spend 40 of my $50 on that? But I know that I'll make it, because I always make it, and sometimes it's but God. But I'm just saying, I know that I'll make it. But then you have that whole energy where it's just like, I look, girl, I only got $10. After you've already spent your $40, and then you spend the next part of the week going, I only got $10. I only got $10. I only got $10.
This is my question.
Okay.
Where that $40 go?
To drinks. I decided that that's what I was going to do, was go have drinks.
When does that?
I had $50.
When?
And I decided I was. Can you just you weren't paying attention here?
I thought you were talking about somebody else. I'm wondering when $50 for.
Listen. $50. You got $50. 40 of it you decided you was going to go kick it with your friends because you deserved it, because you felt like you deserved it, and in the back of your head you knew, I got $10. I'll be all right. I'll make it through. And if I don't, if I really need some money, I've got a backup plan. I can call so and so, or I can go donate plasma, or I can go take my bottles back to the can thing if I really have to do it. But it's just that whole thing, like, why are we putting ourselves in these positions in the first place? Why are we doing that? And then there's the whole thing where I want to know, do we put ourselves in positions of struggle because that's what we celebrate as people? Everything that we celebrate seems to be because we've gone through a struggle and we've overcome a struggle. So is that how we determine what we celebrate, by how much struggle we've gone through?
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that, honestly. But that's a very interesting question. Like, for real.
Yeah, it's like, can we be celebrated? Can we celebrate something without us having to go through through struggle to even get there? And I get it that we as a people, we have gone through struggle. Yeah. We go through struggle. Our life daily is a struggle. But there's got to be some things that we can celebrate that don't have anything to do with that.
Okay.
Our greatness is not determined by how much struggle we've gone through. That's just not.
It can't be.
No.
Like, 400 years, cool. Okay, now, this the question. What is the plan for Black people? Because all the ones I could think of is not looking good for us. So, Black people, What is the plan for black people?
What do you think our plan should be? What are some ideas?
No. I don't want to talk about it. Just want to ask the question.
Just want to think
seriously think about it though. Like, what is the plan for black people?
Okay.
If you care. If you don't care, I literally don't even want to talk to you anyway. That question is not meant for you. If you don't care, there's lots of things I want to say to you, but the only thing I say to you is that it's cool. It's not for you, and I promise. If you care, if you give a damn a little bit though, ask yourself, what's the plan for black people? And if you're really trying to find a plan, be honest and just project the future for black people as you see it. And even if it's a good one, if you say, well, shit, wait a minute, it's been a black president, you got LeBron James, you got, if you one of them people, hold on, I'm trying to make a real good point. For real. If that's your thinking, right? Okay, project 400 years and then do some research and stuff about all that and how that looks and then how the whole of black people look. You can go from here, from your city, your state, your country, then to the world and see what the projection of black people is. And then black people ask, if you care about your future, your kids, what is the plan for black people? Because we got to start really being serious about this shit. If you give a fuck, man, about your own self, damn, what's the plan?
And that's us being gullible to all these firsts you were talking about, Will. But we had Barack Obama, that thing. That goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning.
We've been doing that talking about since. I'm sorry, Mama. Sorry to just interrupt.
Go ahead.
Since this time, in 1863, it was literally black lawyers. It was black Senate. It was black. Literally, it was black. I don't want to say Senate, but it was black government officials and all that stuff. Police officers, all of it. It was first blacks everywhere. Early and already. It's the same shit being reheated. And we still doing the same shit. Reheating it, y'all. Man, I hope somebody listens to that for real. For real. Real shit, though. Yeah, that's about all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
Anyway, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where it's like, what was I saying? Now I lost it.
Excuse me, for real. I just came in all the way interrupted you.
Now I lost it. Now I lost what I was talking about at the beginning.
You was cooking too. My bad. That wasn't my intent.
Well, I remember. I was talking about how we're thrown these bones. And I know I've said this before. I know you've heard me say this before. Like, we're thrown these bones and we're so quick to like gobble them up. You know, we're getting, oh, here you go. Here's some freedom. Here's some end of slavery. But it's with their own plan in place. So anything that happens is not a plan for us. It's a part of their plan. And we have to remember that. Like when we're thrown, that even the whole thing with the Barack thing and whatever. Yes, for me personally, I think he's a wonderful man, a wonderful person. I don't know how I feel about him as a government official. I know how I did feel about him when he was president, but I wasn't. Was in a different mindset as well. But just things like that, because at the end of the day, he's still part of their plan. It's not a plan for us. The only thing it does is keep us docile, keeps us calm, keeps us, here, you can have this, now calm the fuck down.
Damn.
You can have this. Okay, fine.
Fire.
You want something? Here, we'll give you this. Now, calm the fuck down.
You just, woo. Damn.
I'm just saying. And that's just something that we have to remember. And we have to, and I feel like we have to look at these, even, oh my God, the fight that goes back and forth about, what's the sergeant, the police sergeant, what's her name?
I can't
The
remember.
black one. That's how much this,
She from Odo?
She the police.
From
but anyway, you know, the thing that goes back and forth with her about there's a lot of people who are,
that's crazy.
it's something, yeah.
Literally don't care.
The thing that goes on with her though,
Sorry.
The arguments that I see online about her, back and forth, you know, it almost feels like, especially because with all the struggle again that we've had with the Portland Police Bureau, and then they give us this. Here you guys go. Just calm the fuck down. Calm the fuck down. We got you a black person in charge of us. No. She's part of the plan. She's part of the plan. And she is not here for us, in my opinion. Now, I've heard some people say differently, like, sit there, listen to her. She's really for us. For me, personally, at the end of the day, she's the police. And the police, not for us. So, that's just my personal feeling. That's not right or wrong. That's just me, how I feel personally.
I'm responding to Cuddy. Cuddy says, Black Wall Street and Rosewood cities ran by black people. Indeed, cousin. However, there was not enough organization. And this is why, and I only want to say this, for real, on thing, because I got to do more research on it. But there's been like a whole lot of like so-called not so-called, but like Black Wall Streets and Rosewood neighborhoods, right? There's like a neighborhood, I think it's called Garden Green or something like that in Florida now, that's like black and it's like more wealthy and stuff, but I don't think it's on no like black power like stuff. I think it's just like literally a wealthy black neighborhood that's like isolated or something. But like there's been several of those, and those always get towed up in some way, and it's because of a lack of organization, because it'd be a few of us and not us thinking about the whole of us. And there's just certain parts of, well, that's what I was talking about earlier, like what's the plan for black people, you know, like, and that's part of it, because we could have Black Wall Street in Portland. It's enough black people with like career oriented jobs. It's enough black people who in like, it's a few, it's not a whole lot, but it's even enough black people who have just all the black people who was in unions, like really organized. They stepped and did their own thing, could do something major, like within the different unions. It's not a lot, but it is enough. But we just don't want to do that. Hang on, let's see what so like when you say a Rosewood, then I'm gonna respond to your take, and I'm gonna take Stacey's name.
Well, yes. But and I want to say too that that's one of the things that I've thought about, as far as like, if we were to, one of the things that we have to do as black people, especially because as history has shown, anytime we have something that's ours, that we run, it gets destroyed. We have to have our army.
Well done.
We have to have our army. We have to have our protection.
Well done, James.
Danielle Outlaw. Yes, James. Yes, I agree with you. She does play for the system. She's the police.
That's why her name didn't even. I knew it was something catchy like that. One of her names.
I knew it was.
I was thinking the first name was like Unique, or literally like Unique or Princess.
It's
or something.
Outlaw.
But it's Outlaw. The name. Yeah. Good looking James. James always got the info though. We gotta go catch one of his shows.
Absolutely.
Send us his page.
Absolutely.
You send me his page. I gotta look at it again.
Absolutely.
For real.
Yeah.
I gotta tap into it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I thought that's what.
But let's talk about this though. What should we be celebrating? What should we be celebrating as black people? Because here's the thing, I do think we need to celebrate our own stuff.
You damn right.
We don't need to be doing colonizer celebrations. We don't celebrate the 4th of July. We don't celebrate Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate Christmas. I'm saying us, you and I. We don't celebrate.
Okay, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, there are things that I like. One of the things, when I decided I wasn't doing these celebrations anymore, there was something missing, and I was like, well, I feel like I need to make it up with something. Hopefully, you know, I feel like I need to make it up with something else. You know, I feel like I need to have some sort of celebrations in my life. For a while, I celebrated Taco Tuesday just because I needed to have some kind of a celebration.
Long time for a while. Like it was like a couple weeks.
It was a big thing. No, for real. No, for real though.
Weeks.
It was something that helped, and I was just in a bad situation anyway, where I was living something that just helped me get through. But we do need. What do we need? Yes.
Because you keep asking, and when I say what's the plan for black people, the plan cannot be to just keep on celebrating
struggle
or Thanksgiving, Christmas,
right,
and Black Friday, and all these things. Unless you celebrating something like Black Friday to like do something to boost your business, right? Like seriously though, like taking advantage of things like that.
Open
right?
up a business,
shopping days, the day after Christmas, and all that stuff to like cut on your bills, or right, like cut on getting your stuff going the day after and stuff. But like seriously though, that can't be the plan. The plan can't be to just keep doing what we're doing. But we're very comfortable with that being the plan. You understand me?
Yeah.
That can't be the plan.
But we're very comfortable with this being the plan. That's all we know.
This can't be the plan though.
Right. we're very comfortable in our oppression.
This can't be the plan.
We're very comfortable in our oppression.
Even this.
Because at least we know what to accept. What to expect. So yeah, we know this is why people keep posting shit about like, here's another guy who gets pulled over by the police and shot by the cops. Here's another guy who gets beat up by white supremacists and stuff like that. Yes, we know that. We know that that's happening. Mama, what are we going to do?
Listen, even more black people, and this is dope because I think that this is a way to connect with our people that's at least a little positive and at least a little something different than what we be receiving when we open up our social medias and see ass and titties or just drama or struggle. For real though. Open up your social media and look at people, what they posting and stuff. And now our circles, I can't say that when I open it, it is a way more a lot of like activism and stuff like that. And seriously though, and it's a lot of more of that, but it's still a lot of shit in the, and we know what the kids is doing in the music and, and the culture. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, it has to be a shift that's serious, man. That's serious, and I don't know what the hell it's gonna take. It seems like it literally take like a world war, and it's like and like somehow race get into it, and it's like no, if y'all don't have your own resources, no, this is like every man for himself. So when it's like that, for real though, right? Like, it's something real serious happening. It's every man for himself, and it starts with your culture and your tribes, right? So it's gonna eventually come down to race. Period. And that shit's like really not that far from happening type shit. And black people in particular, black people in the diaspora, because it's not just an American thing. All of us, Africans included on the continent, seem to not be realizing that. And we coming around, but we tripping, man. we tripping. We tripping.
But do you think that Africans that don't realize it because they
don't understand all of it too? Africa's huge. Literally, you can go to different parts of Africa, they know nothing even about Egypt and Kemet, the shit that we think we know and be as popularized. Seriously, they don't, oblivious to it. It's crazy. You'll be shocked. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, it's not a game. It's really crazy.
Paula says we need to find joy, true joy that has nothing to do with survival. I agree.
Yeah, but we don't have the luxury. That's a privilege. That's a privilege. What about your kids? Think about it. Look at the situation we in now. Fucking around with our culture, man. Nothing else. Think about it. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, think about it. That's the culture that we just fucking in, man. That shit is liable to happen. Subject to happen to one of ours who could have anything. You understand? Because of our fucking culture, though. Because it's cool. Because it's nothing. When you the last person, we don't have the privilege to not think like survival. Well, break your neck.
That's probably part of the problem is that's where we are
in
this
survival
shit serious.
mode.
We've been in survival mode, serious, though. And we don't know how to get out of survival mode. And I think we need to start thinking about that.
Shit,
how do you get out of survival mode? It's gonna be harder. That's just the thing. It's gonna be harder. But we definitely have to find a way to get out of survival mode.
And get out of the mind frame of, okay, what you do by yourself. No. It's not gonna work like
this
that.
Is enough. I'm gonna make it.
We're not up against a weak enemy. We can't keep talking about do it by yourself and stick to make sure your family. That's not enough. Okay, see, you didn't got me started now. That's why I said the last thing I want to say was, what's the plan for black people? I'm done. I don't want to sit up here keep saying it. What you want to end with?
What's the plan? I would like to just say, I'm a celebrator. I like celebrations.
Celebrate all of it.
So, I need some ideas, y'all. Let's start thinking about what are some things that we can celebrate. Please. There is RBG Day. Red, Black, and Green Day. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to celebrate that. Red, Black, and Green. Look it up. Marcus Garvey. Good things. And that doesn't have anything to do with struggle. That has to do with celebrating us as a black people. Celebrating something that is our own. Right? I think that's what our focus needs to be on. Let's see. What are some things we don't necessarily have? See, white people be having celebrations based on their religion. They got Easter.
Black people do too. Black people do too.
Stop. That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, my bad.
Talking about that because they created these celebrations. They created Easter. They created Christmas. It's all religious based. What can we create? Doesn't have to be religious based, but what can we create? And what is it that we can celebrate besides our struggle? What can we do? Let's see. RBG, like I said, that's a good one.
Yeah, yes.
What if we had like harvest celebrations? Like, what if we came together collectively and was like, okay, this time of the year.
Some people celebrate Nat Turner birthday last year or a couple years ago. It was actually another solar eclipse.
The Nat Turner revolution
On his on his day. It was crazy. Because supposedly it was an eclipse on the day it happened.
Yes.
And it was an eclipse.
Yes.
Like, was it
yes,
last year?
It was.
Was it 18 or 17?
17, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was crazy. It was an eclipse again.
Yes. Black love. Yes. Tanya. Duh. Yes. Black love. Most definitely. We need to be serious about celebrating black love. Like, for real. All kinds of seriousness about it.
I thought it was on.
Guess not. Is that a call you need? Is that some money? Okay.
I think so.
So anyway, yes, black love is definitely a great one to celebrate. But yeah, y'all think about it and then like just post it on this thing or whatever, or send me a message or whatever, because I'm trying to celebrate. I'm trying to have some celebrations in my life. And there is October 31st, which is my birthday. Everybody can celebrate it. Let me tell you something else about October 31st.
What you gonna tell the people?
This is how I knew that Bastet was the perfect name for me. I had a lot of things that happened that actually made me believe that this was my name. Do you know that they had her celebration on October 31st? Her feast. The feast and celebration for her was October 31st.
Peace, Paul.
Just saying. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. Food is done. I'm trying to eat.
It's on too. That shit's
right.
Great. I will take some more. For real.
But for real, y'all think about it. This is the things. I want to leave you with this. Here's some things that we want to think about. Okay.
Yo ass. Peace,
Are we? This is just things that I want you to just think about and reflect on.
Your born day coming up, V. Go ahead, DD.
We're not talking.
Right. Go ahead. Finish. Excuse me. Excuse me.
So some things that I would like for us to just think about and reflect on. Have we incorporated struggle into our cultural norm? And if we have, how do we get away from that? Do we put ourselves in position of struggle because of do we put ourselves in position of struggle because it's celebrated? Do we do that to ourselves? Maybe even subconsciously, do we do that to ourselves? What should we celebrate? What are some things that we should be celebrating? And what's the plan for Black people? What's the 3-year plan? What's the 5-year plan? What's the 20-year plan?
50-year.
What's the 50-year plan? Oh, because trust me, the white people got a 50-year plan.
It ain't even about them.
They got a 50-year plan.
It's about what we.
I'm just saying.
Doing.
This is what we need to be doing.
That's only to say that what we up against every people got some kind of plan, or their trajectory is not that of a ratchet culture. So we need some different plan. That's all. That's all. It's too much of it. Seriously. It was not. It's too much to say. We too few to have any. Like, for real. We need to be the tightest of the tightest. How the fuck we look when everybody knows our history? Because we talk about it so fucking much. Everybody knows how great we were. Everybody knows you were slaves. Everybody knows your 400-year struggle. Okay? The fuck we gonna do? Really, really.
Good example of how we celebrate struggle is the way that white people have us celebrating Black History Month. And they started.
Can we end this?
I'm just saying. That you started it. But I'm just saying, a lot of times I see the whole Black History celebrations, and they talk about slavery. That's what they started with. They don't talk about anything before slavery. They put it in our heads and in our kids' heads that there was nothing before. We were nothing before slavery. So that means that everything that we are now is because of them. It's because of them, because they brought us over here. Yes, they put us through some shit, but we could have never been anything had we not been brought over here and gone through this shit, which is some bullshit. I'm just saying.
You know what? What are you doing Juneteenth?
I'm gonna be at a table.
Where?
at the Juneteenth celebration in Vance Park. I'm gonna be at the BCP table.
Hey.
That's what I'm doing.
Working.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come through there. Isn't it going on until 10?
I ain't gonna stay that late. I don't know about all that.
I
don't know about all that. You don't have me out there all day.
It's like all day, isn't it? All day thing?
Like from noon to...
I think it's noon to 8 or noon to 10. Somebody told me 10. I don't know.
Maybe for breakdown.
Right, yeah.
Because usually the parks close at dusk. Right. Anyway, you guys, it's been real. It's been real. Think about those things that we just talked about. Think about those things. Really reflect on them, because they're hard questions, and it's really hard to like sit there and be real and honest with ourselves about where we are at and what our condition is. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
Negative.
Negative?
Peace.
Love y'all.